All right, let's go. What's up, everybody? Coming to you live again since it's Wednesday. It's that time. So, my name is Ross Loofborough. I am the ADHD high performance coach. So, man, if you struggle with planning, if planning is an ultimate pain for you, okay, maybe you have ADHD, maybe you think you might, or there's someone in your life who is really struggling with planning and maybe it drives you nuts. All right, here we go. We got Instagram online now. Awesome. So maybe someone in your life that you love, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's one of your best friends, they really struggle with planning. And it's not hard for you. So it drives you crazy watching them wish to plan, say they want to plan, and then again, not plan. And they're flying by the seat of their pants and they seem really stressed and they're just throwing things together and they're making it up as they go. Well, that is how many of us with ADHD brains, that's how we get by, that's how we exist, is we either don't plan at all or we want to plan. We read the books, we hear from the people who are like, planning, super important. Planning will make your life less stressful, less chaotic. And so we desire it. We want to be able to manifest that and produce that clarity, that sense of calm in our life, but we struggle. So why does it feel like when you're trying to plan, feels like you're hitting your head against a wall over and over and over? Well, I'm going to tell you. So stay tuned, jump in. All right, let's dig in. Okay, so planning, when you have ADHD, this can be really, really challenging. Like, it can be an ultimate pain in the ass, okay? Because it's so elusive. But why? So our brains, all right, we struggle to be motivated. Like the part of our brains that help motivate you to do anything that you want to do or that you know you should do or you ought to do, there's a misfire in an ADHD brain. Our brains are built different. So ADHD is often referred to as a motivation deficit neurological syndrome, right? Because we struggle often with initiating and sustaining tasks that require planning and organization. And to cope with this, it's super essential for ADHDers to reorganize their environment at work, at home, to support them in to almost like it's almost like leading your brain to the place you want to go. Like when you lay out treats or you see in movies and stuff, you like, or you have a pet and you like lay out treats in a line, getting them to go where you want them to go, even though they don't probably really want to go there, but you're trying to entice them. That's sort of what you have to do for an ADHD brain. You got to create alerts and reminders and big, huge signs almost in your environment flashing at you. I mean, basically, metaphorically, but that would be nice. Flashing at you saying, hey, remember you want to do this. Hey, remember you have this thing today. So that's the first thing. The other thing is that for ADHDers, like, this might also involve establishing clear goals. Okay, we can get excited about things, we can get passionate, and it feels like, I know if you spend time around me, almost every day, I'm telling you about something that's blowing my mind. And it can feel like, does this always happen to you? Yes, it always happens. Okay, I'm easily excitable, but it's genuine and it's authentic. But because we bounce around, because we do get so excited by things that we discover or just stumble upon in our life, that's also why it's really essential that we set clear goals and that we're reminded of those goals and not just setting the goals, but then breaking them down, right? Breaking those goals down into smaller steps, right? It's why we desire to utilize things like planners, right? The amount of planners that I have purchased and thought, this is it. This is going to be the one. The Panda planner. Okay. Anyone use that one? Yeah. Didn't work. Didn't work. It's a great planner. The Full Focus Planner by Michael Hyatt. Didn't work for me. Works for my dad. It's changed his life. Awesome. That's great. But we can get so defeated and so discouraged as we try to move through new tools, new strategies, new books, new processes, new systems, new frameworks to try to help us with planning, with goal setting, with just doing the things that we want to do, starting and finishing. It can be just relentlessly discouraging. So let's get back to the things that you can do to give yourself a leg up. And these are maybe a lot of things that you've already tried. Maybe there's apps that you've tried for planning. Okay? There's certainly a lot that I've tried. Some worked for me for a while. But we have that novelty-seeking brain. So it's really easy for us to be satisfied with maybe a tool for a hot minute, and then we're bored. And then we find something else that is really interesting. And wow, that's new. It's got a new look. It's got some new features. Oh, this looks better. I'm going to try this. And so we have trouble sticking with something because we get bored. And then routines. Creating routines to enhance consistency. Okay, because any plan that is helping you lead, any plan that's helping you arrive somewhere that you want to arrive at, any plan that's helping you string actions, behaviors, things together so you can actually achieve the goal that you really want, that you really desire. All of that takes consistency. So we often wrestle with ourselves to try to figure out, okay, what routine is going to work for me? What routine can I actually lock into, stick with long enough so I can achieve the goal? So I can finally fix the relationship with my spouse. So I can finally do consistent date nights. So I can finally start showing up for my son or my daughter in the way that I desire, in the way that I want to. How can I create consistent routines so I can be that friend to the people that I love most in my life? How can I create consistent routines so I stop letting others down at work and disappointing people? How many of you are tired of disappointing people in your life? It's just the worst. It's awful. When you've disappointed someone and it wasn't intentional at all. It never was. In fact, your heart's desire is to fix that, is to solve that, but it feels so elusive. So let's dive in a little bit more to a little bit of the science around why ADHD brains really struggle with this. I touched on it, but like this is the stuff that I know gets me really excited because it's like, okay, like that's just not theory. Okay, you're helping me understand like there's a reason behind this. So as ADHDers, we often, like I said, we have this unique, well, going in a different direction here. So our unique brains, we have this ability to notice and recall details that neurotypical brains often filter out. A neurotypical brain is designed to filter out all the things that will distract, all the things that don't have to do with what you've already told your brain, hey, this is what we're working on today. This is all that matters. A neurotypical brain just naturally filters out all the fluff, all the unnecessary, all the nice to-dos, but not important and urgent. Wow, that'd be great. That'd be great, right? If you have ADHD, you're like, sounds nice. But ADHD brains, our brains, we notice those things that others don't. We can recall details that other people are left mystified going, how did you remember that? And you really struggled to remember all these other things that I asked you to remember for this important event and you failed to. Well, our ability to do that as ADHDers, it's attributed to the way that ADHD brains process sensory input without filtering it. So, did you know research shows that individuals with ADHD, we tend to produce more theta waves, which are associated with a sense of calm, even amidst chaos. So, if you have ADHD, you're thinking, yeah, like, come on, I'm amazing in a crisis. I can keep it together. I'm not freaking out. And I usually surprise myself with the ability to make the decisions, push through, hold everything else together, and hold my own emotions together. How do I do that? Well, this is how you do it. This is how you do it, right? So there are some gifts. There are some benefits to the way that an ADHD brain is wired. So just kind of fleshing this out more, this calmness that we can often feel in a crisis as ADHDers with those unique brains, when we feel calm in those panic situations. This explains why we see why we see higher rates of ADHD adults in professions that are just constantly pressure infused, right? Like think of ER doctors, think of nurses, think of police officers, think of firefighters, right? Think of paramedics, right? There's a lot of professions out there that most people can't imagine, can never place themselves doing that. Like, it's a joke. It's like, how is that enjoyable? Well, many of them have ADHD and they love it. It gives their brain exactly what they need. But I digress. Let's keep going here. Okay, explaining the reasons why an ADHD brain does struggle with planning, but why we excel in these other areas. So, Dr. Amen with the Amen Clinic, a renowned expert in brain imaging, he's identified anomalies in the prefrontal cortex of ADHD brains, indicating insufficient blood flow. Like, okay, insufficient blood flow. That sounds like a bad thing. Well, just hang with me. So this sleepy brain, as he refers to it, this sleepy brain phenomenon, it disrupts the neurotransmitter activity and the neural circuits, leading many of us with ADHD to seek out dopamine-inducing activities to compensate for that lack of blood flow. Okay, so what does this look like? Let me give you an example. I love mountain biking. Love it. And I push it to the max when I'm on my mountain bike. Like I'm not afraid to fall. I like to go fast, and I've had some pretty close calls. And the good news is that I fall a lot less now than I did when I first started that hobby. But here's the point. There's a lot of people that mountain bike, but not many people mountain bike like I mountain bike. A lot of people enjoy mountain biking, but they take it easy. They know their limits and they like to safely operate within those limits. Me, I like to push it. I like to see what I'm capable of. I like to go down a hill I haven't gone down before and go down it just as fast as if I'd gone down it 100 times. Now, there's inherent risk with that, but my brain loves that because it is giving me the dopamine that my brain is lacking, right? Every time I'm doing those high risk activities, like really pushing it, going faster, like going off a jump, doing things I probably shouldn't, and I am learning. so fun. It's so enjoyable for me. And it's why it's my favorite hobby. Well, all these insights, they shed light on the underlying neurological challenges that we face as people with ADHD when it comes to planning and organization. Okay? So, little story here. For most of my life, I have not been a planner. And until I got into my 20s, and I got a real job, right? I was working at the Apple store, became a manager. I had to start planning. So I didn't start really using a calendar, honestly. Like I didn't start relying on a calendar until I was well into my 20s. And that was the beginning of my planning journey. And I love using a calendar today. I can't imagine doing life without it. And I've tried to build on that. And I've I've tried a lot of things. Planners galore, apps galore, and it's so discouraging to me how none of those tools, none of those resources have actually done it for me. None of them have provided me the missing link. It's constantly been, this looks like it's it. This app, this planner, oh, this is perfect. And it might work for a little while, but then I get bored and I try something else. I don't stick with it. I'm not consistent. So I wish I could tell you that as I've been building this business over the last few years, that was different. It hasn't really been different. A lot of effort's gone into it. I mean, I can't tell you how many weeks. It's embarrassing. For years now. I'm like, okay, I'm going to plan this week. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to set some time aside on Sunday. That's the day I want to plan. And I just need about an hour or so and I'm going to plan my week. And then I won't do it. Other things will get in the way, right? All of a sudden, oh gosh, like Sunday night rolls around. I'll plan on Monday. I'll plan on Monday. And I don't do it. And when I actually did plan my week, here's the paradox. It's so hard. It's so challenging. It feels like I'm trying to move a giant boulder. And if someone was watching me, they'd be like, yo, what are you doing? You're obviously not going to be able to move that giant boulder. Why are you working so hard? But here's the catch. It's not a giant boulder to most people. That's what it feels like to me when I'm trying to plan, is pushing a giant boulder. But to most people, they're watching me going, yo, you're pushing a tiny feather. Like, why are you struggling so much? Why is this so hard? That's the maddening part, is most people don't get it. But if you have ADHD, I know that you understand. So even when I would plan my entire week, I would feel great when it was done. It'd be a big accomplishment. It'd be a massive relief, but it wouldn't continue to happen. It wouldn't happen in the same way the next week. I might string a few weeks together and then I'd fall off. This is why it can be so discouraging and frustrating. And you can feel like you are driving yourself crazy, trying to just build in some of that structure that you believe you need. Some of that structure that the world's telling you, hey, yo, if you did these things, if you had a plan for your week, if you had a plan for your days, you'd get more of the things done that matter. Try it. And we hear that all the time as ADHDers, and we're like, yeah, I have tried. So here's what I want to tell you. There's hope. There's hope. So this new tool that I've stumbled upon is called Motion. So Motion is an AI planning and scheduling tool. Now, I came across this years ago when AI was not what it's become in the last year and a half, just blown wide open, taking over the world. And it wasn't that impressive. There were a lot of gaps. But today, Motion is blowing my freaking mind. And here's why. Okay, as someone who struggles with planning, I'm talking to you out there with ADHD, you struggle with planning, but you want to have a plan. And you just wish you could have a plan and it not be so freaking challenging and it not be something you're working so hard to avoid doing. You wish it could just happen easier. You wish it could just exist and help guide you. Well, Motion gives you that. It's given me that. Okay, now I've only been using it for a short amount of time. It's been a little under a month. But it feels really different this time because Motion, what it does, let me just blow your mind a little bit. So you can have it link up to all your calendars. So the way Motion works is essentially it's not disrupting your existing calendar setup, but you can link up all your calendars to Motion, and Motion just kind of layers on top of everything you've already created in your calendars. All your existing events, everything that's already made. It just layers on top. And then what Motion does is it asks you, hey, tell me about the blocks of time when you want certain things scheduled. So, like, what days of the week do you actually want to be available to spend time with your kids? What days of the week, what times of the day do you want to be available to hang out with friends? What days of the week do you want to actually focus on your needle moving activities for your business, for your life? So you get the idea. You set up these parameters so the AI understands when it can schedule certain activities as you start to build your task as you start to build your task list of events and priorities and goals. So check this out. When I started using Motion for the first time, I did what it said. I put in like 20 to 30 different tasks, to-dos, all things that I needed to get done. And when you put it into Motion, you tell it what the urgency is. You're like, hey, what priority is this? Is this a low priority, medium, high priority? And it uses all this information with your deadlines to schedule it for you. It automatically figures out, okay, Ross said this is a high priority and this is the deadline. Here's where we're going to put it in. Boom, right there. And it does it for you. And listen, the hardest part of even exploring a tool like this is letting go of your concern and worry that, oh, is this actually going to work? Oh, is this going to mess things up? It's not going to mess things up because, again, it layers on top of your existing calendars. So as I started putting things in there, I'm watching this tool literally drop and schedule and time block my week out for me in a fraction of the time and with very little stress on my part. And here's even the cooler thing is when you put a task into Motion, you actually can tell Motion how long you anticipate that task is gonna take you to accomplish. Now, that's a huge struggle, red flag, if you have ADHD. We're not so great at determining how long things take. Okay, our brains are really optimistic and we think we can get done 10 million things in one day, and that just ain't the case. So there are other tools that you can use, and I'll put some of them in the comments after I'm done with this live. There are tools you can use that help your ADHD brain determine how long it's going to take. For example, okay, I got this talk coming up at this event, and it's a 60-minute talk, and here's the topic. How long is this going to take? And I have tools that I'll show you that literally help your brain understand this is the realistic amount of time it takes. So then you can take that amount of time and plug it into Motion. Cool. Need to build and create my talk for this event, and it's going to take 16 hours. And motion, I want you to schedule this in chunks of 90 minutes. Like I want to do this in 90-minute chunks so I get in some good hyper focus. And then motion will just schedule it for you beautifully all throughout the time period between now and your deadline. It's incredible. And on top of that, and I'm just touching on a few things that this does that I think can revolutionize an ADHDer's life. The other helpful thing that it adds is a booking link. So this booking link is very similar to what Calendly offers. So if you're paying for Calendly, you don't have to pay for it anymore because with Motion, you have a booking link. Well, this has been transformative for me because one of the struggles for me over the last few years building this business has been my, how do I say this? Me as a friend, I've been a really subpar friend over the last couple years to all the people that matter most in my life. Because what's become so overwhelming that I can barely take it is just getting a text message from someone saying, hey, I want to catch up. When can we catch up? Hey, it was great meeting you at that conference. Like, when can we connect? Hey, you said that you could share this thing with me. Like, let me know when you can do that or when you can get it done. That's become paralyzing because my cognitive load has been so much. Trying to be an amazing husband, trying to be a great dad, trying to build this business on my own for the first time. It's a lot. And all of those other things that I used to have bandwidth for, it's been a shocking struggle to actually make time to engage in the relationships that matter most to me in my life. But this booking link inside Motion it's really starting to turn things around for me. Because what I'm able to do is have all these booking links for different things. So I've created a booking link for friends, like 3 minutes, and I tell it when, it can schedule those calls or those meetups. And I've created a booking link for coaching strategy calls for people that are interested in working with me and they'd like to explore that. I've created a booking link for my paid coaching clients who I currently am working with. And it has just smoothed out the anxiety that comes from wanting to be a great friend, wanting to follow up with people, wanting to respond, wanting to show them I care. And it's not producing as much anxiety because I can quickly respond and drop my booking link. I can say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for reaching out. I really want to connect, and drop the booking link that allows them to schedule time with me that I'm really looking forward to talk to them on the phone, to catch up, to be relational, which is like one of my deepest, greatest loves in the whole world. So I hope that made some sense at how some of those abilities of motion work. So, okay, I gotta stop at some point, but let me just keep going for a second. So someone reached out to me recently who I've been struggling to honor this person who's wanted to connect. And we met at a conference months back and I've been totally blowing it and just ghosting them unintentionally. Well, I dropped my booking link in their most recent message. And I just got a ping in my email that they picked a time, and Motion automatically schedules it for me. And Motion knows when certain things are scheduled that are high priority, deadlines approaching, that it cannot book these connections and new things on top of, or, like it knows the priority of everything. So it keeps everything in check. Y'all, the easiest way to describe it is Motion using a tool like this. It's like having a virtual assistant full time who is controlling and running your entire calendar and schedule. Yeah, it's that much of a freaking game changer. It's insane. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up here, and I'll just leave you with this. I'll leave you with this. Don't give up. Don't give up looking for tools, looking for people, looking for strategies, frameworks, looking for something that you haven't yet discovered that can answer maybe that lifelong dilemma of like, why can't I plan like I want to plan? Why can't I plan with consistency when I want to so bad? Don't give up. Keep searching because you deserve it. Your future that you are trying to build deserves it. And maybe it's Motion. Check out Motion. Okay? I will say this. I'll give this disclaimer that Motion, this AI scheduling and planning tool, I think it really will work best for people who are entrepreneurs, for people that run their own business. So if you are in the command seat, if you are determining what your week looks like, when you get time for certain activities, when you get time to do the things that you want to do in your personal life, for your business, for your friends, like if you have that type of autonomy and you're just trying to make the most of it, I would really urge you to check out Motion AI. So listen, I don't have a horse in the race. I'm not like an investor in Motion AI. I just want to drop a tool that is really providing a lot of hope for me. And I hope for some of you out there, it does the same for you. Hey, please share this with anybody that you might know. Maybe you don't struggle with ADHD, but someone in your life does. All right? You know that they need to just let goodness come in their brain. They need to just hear someone else who's also struggling, but is refusing to give up and is finding solutions and is continuing to make progress and gain momentum. So give the gift to those people that are coming to mind right now and pass along this video. Pass along my name. I currently have a few open spots for working with me as a coach. So if you're interested, you can see the link in my bio. You can check out my webpage, rosslufborough.com. You go partway down and you can essentially fill out a form that will allow you to get on a free 1-hour coaching strategy call with me. Or maybe you just want to like stay connected and see what else that I can do and ways I can support and how maybe information I'm sharing could bless you and others that you care about. You can go to my webpage and you can drop your email in there. I'm not going to overload you, but I got some free resources, some free stuff I want to share, and I want to continue serving and bringing you the goodness that is going to help lift your life and those around you that are trying to figure out, how do I harness this ADHD brain? How do I make the most of it? How do I unleash all the goodness that I know it has and that I haven't tapped into yet? Okay? All right. I'm going to take off. Unless anyone has any questions, I can see there's a few people here. Any questions at all? I'll open it up here. See if anyone wants to ask anything. Let me know. Ken, thank you. Katie, thank you so much. Kitra, thank you for jumping on. Todd, thanks for jumping on. Thank you so much. DNob23, appreciate your support. Any questions at all on planning, on motion, on your own experience? Maybe you're dealing with this right now. And like, dude, what do you got to lose? Hit me. So I'm here for you. Okay, I'll put this out there again. If anyone actually gets to the end of this video And if you do feel like, oh, you missed the boat, DM me, drop a comment, like this video. And if you reach out to me, I will commit to getting back to you and answering your individual question, trying to help your specific situation that you're in right now. So let me know, okay? So maybe you're a little shy to do it right now. Maybe you're not sure what to ask. Drop me a DM or put it in the comments. Like this video, keep sharing it because I want to keep showing up for all of you. Love ya. I'm with you. I'm here for you. And I'll see you Friday on the next live. All right. See y'all.